name's Brent Lubbock. I'm here on behalf of the Scotland Neck Business Association, which is hosting today's gathering, which I'm very proud of. I think it's wonderful we're doing this, and hopefully we'll continue doing this. Before we get going, I'd like to introduce you to Mason Johnson, and he's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah,
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, I'd like to introduce you to Dusty Sprouse, who's going to offer a prayer.
All right, let's pray. Father God, I pray that you will help everybody in this room to take a deep breath. Breathe in your spirit, Lord. Father God, we live in an environment where sometimes people get a little crazy, but that's not going to happen here tonight, Lord. Your grace is going to be all over everyone here tonight, and it's going to be a beautiful conversation. And Lord, I pray when it's all done and we walk away from this place, you're going to be glorified by the way that we have conversations together. Maybe even an example for other places. Lord, we give this all over to you, our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Next, I would like to tell you who our timekeeper is, which is Nicole Carlson. And it's my honor to introduce you to our moderator for this evening, the Halifax County Board of Commissioners Chair, Vernon Bryant. He's going to be moderating our candidates. And on behalf of the Scotland Neck Business Association, thank you all for coming out here today, and thank you for the candidates. We're really looking forward to hearing what has to be said. So thank you guys.
Okay, thank you very much, Brent, for that. And I want to just kind of do some housekeeping rules. I apologize for myself and Nicholas to have our backs to you, but our focus is on the candidates, and of course I know that's your focus as well. But, you know, first of all, I want to thank the Scotland Neck Business Association for putting this event on this evening. And thank you, candidates, and I thank the audience for you being here and your participation. Following the forum, attendees are invited to meet and greet candidates and stay for a few minutes for light refreshments. Nicholas Carson here is to my right, and Nicholas is going to be our official timekeeper. And the yellow card, hold the yellow card up, Nicholas. The yellow card represents that you have 1 minute remaining. On many items, you're going to have, on most items, you're going to have 2 minutes. But when you get to a minute, he's going to put that yellow card up and you have 1 minute remaining. The next card is the blue card. When he put the blue card up, you have 30 seconds remaining. And when he put the red card up, your time is ended. And if you're in a sentence, you stop with that sentence. And you know, he's not going to say anything to you, but I will. And you have to stop in the middle of that sentence. So we will take a 5 to 10 minute restroom break at some point in time, probably after we're here for about an hour or so. We'll do that. Candidates will be given 2 minutes in their introductions and opening statement. That's the first thing that you're all going to do. So you may want to be thinking in terms of that. You have 2 minutes for that introduction and then the opening statements that you want to make to the public. Candidates will also be allowed to respond 2 minutes per question. We have at least 2 or 3 questions that we're going to be asking you, and you'll have 2 minutes per question. You know, we'll just have one, and we'll move it around to different ones. At the end, candidates will be given 2 minutes for closing statements. So when all is said and done, you'll have 2 minutes. Now, as far as the audience also may submit questions on a 3x5 card to Miss Nancy Winslow. There she is. She's got the cards. If you want to ask the candidates whether it's the mayor or whether it's the mayor candidates, or whether it's the town commissioners, just put that information on the card, pass it over to Ms. Winslow or Brent, and they'll pass that on to me. Now, understand that as moderator in the committee, we reserve the right to whether or not we want to ask those questions or not. And, you know, whether or not, you know, I think it's appropriate, and then the other thing is going to be the time factor as well. We're going to start, as you know, we start at 5:30, and we're going to start promptly at 7 o'clock. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move into the introductions and opening statements. And we're going to start with the mayor candidate, Mr. Braxton.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank everyone for coming this afternoon. It's a great opportunity to have this forum to give the citizens the opportunity to talk to us. But I'm Eddie Braxton. I'm a lifelong citizen in Scotland Lake. I've lived here all my life. I have married to my 8th grade sweetheart. We've been married 52 and a half years. I'm a member of First Baptist Church. I'm a deacon and the chairman of finance right now. I have 2 children, 2 grown children and 5 grandchildren, 3 of which are grown. And it's a great pleasure to be able to live here in Scotland Lake. I'm an original charter member of the Scotland Lake Rescue Squad. I was 19 years old when we organized the rescue squad. I worked there 15 years as a volunteer until my job carried me out of town. I still enjoy doing first aid work and don't hesitate to stop at a wreck and take care of anybody that needs to be taken care of. CPR certified. I was first elected in 2015, in November 2015, and I feel like we have brought our town forward tremendously in this last 9 years. We get tremendous compliments on the way our town looks. Our street crew does a tremendous job. We took over our street and wastewater treatment plant back several years ago, and it's just tremendous where we've come. And we've hired local people that do these jobs. We use inmates also to help cut the cost. As the mayor and our board, one of their primary jobs is to take care of the taxpayers' money. We have a limited amount of money, and we try to spend that money to be most efficient for the town.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Braxton. Also, you see a place up there for Leroy Dwayne Powell Jr. He's also a candidate for mayor. He's not here tonight. And we probably even have some write-in people for mayor as well as for the town commission, but they're not a part of this political forum that we're having tonight. Moving on to the next person we're going to move to the town commissioners and candidates. And we're going to hear from Ms. Cofield this time.
Good evening, everybody. Please forgive me my tardiness. My name is Gloria Cofield. I was born and raised here in Scotland Lake. I live here and went to Brawley High School. I went to Scotland Lake High. I'm a sibling and I'm a twin. I came home because I want to see a change. And when that being a change, I want to get into something that will help the community as well as myself. I think being here from a child up to what I am now, I feel that with all of us living here, we can make a difference. And being on a commissioner, I felt that we here in Scotland Lake deserve a bigger chance to make it better. And doing that, I had 2 people that would help me and did what I had to do to get to this position, and I appreciate them. And one of them is Yvonne Powell, and one of them is my sister, Julia. And I think that they're helping me as far as doing that. And being on as a commissioner, again, I love people, I like talking to people, I like helping people. And I hope if I get elected that we all here in Scarlet Neck can make a difference, not just the people on the board, but the people here in Scarlet Neck.
Okay, thank you very much. Just so we won't have to be passing mics around. Okay, now we're gonna hear from Ms. Stallings.
Thank you. I am Kim Stallings. I have lived in Scotland Neck my entire life as well. I think we all share that common thread of those that are running for seats here. So we must all feel very passionately about making a change and doing the most that we can for our community. I am married for 16 years to Robbie Stallings. We have a son that is Jacob, 16, and he has a daughter that lives in Rockingham that we get to see quite often, 3 grandsons. I'm also the administrator at Bryan Health and Rehab here in town. So I operate a business with about 90 employees that I affect their lives as well as the residents that I serve all day, every day. It's important to me to be a good steward of the money that we take into our facility to take care of our residents. And as commissioner, I would do the very same, will continue to do the very same for this town. Our town does need change. We need to be cohesive, we need to work together, and we need to see good improvements across all spectrums of business, of public relations, and for our citizens. And that's why I want to be your commissioner.
Thank you, Ms. Stallings. Okay, Mr. Morris, you're next.
Yes, sir. Thank you for allowing me to be here. It's an honor and privilege. Thank God for allowing me to wake up to the day because somebody else didn't. My name is Marcus Morris. Just as the rest of the panel stated, I'm a native here as well, born and raised here. Just on the little skirts on the outside of town of a little moonlight road. I grew up in the school system here from Dawson Elementary all the way up to Broadway to Southeast. I was able to obtain my associate's degree in criminal justice at Halifax Community College. I have 15 years of law enforcement experience. I've also obtained my advanced degree, which is the highest formality that you can obtain in law enforcement. I also been a deputy sheriff for Halifax County for 4 years. I was a lieutenant there, a bailiff. I was a lieutenant in the jail there. I was a bailiff on the room. I mean, a bailiff in the courtroom and deputy on the road. Corrections officer as well. I was on a PERT team, SWAT team. At the time it was called Caledonia. Served here in Scarlet Neck, born and raised. I loved it here. I was corporate here in the K-9 handler. Enjoyed my time here. Everybody knew when Officer Morris was working. That's without a shadow of a doubt. The reason why that I'm running for mayor, I want to be able to show accountability, stability. Also to address the economical decline of jobs leaving Scarlet Neck. That's a big issue for me. Again, back to the stability, to make sure that everyone is given a fair opportunity when jobs are being promoted, to make sure that the community is very aware when jobs are being posted and when availability of selected candidates. Also establishing a better youth program, because my grandma always stated an idle hand is the devil's playground. Let's give these kids something to do. Let's invest back in this community. I've given everything that I've had in this community. I've had the opportunity to see wonderful things come in this town, but it's also sad to see them go. I feel like this is the time that we all need to unite across the board unanimously, and let's get this job done.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. I appreciate you all's opening statements and introductions. Thank you so much from the mayor candidates and also from the town commission candidates. Now we're going to move to the questions. And we're going to start with the town commissioners this time, as far as the questions are concerned. Mr. Morris, I'm going to start with you. How do you plan to support local businesses and encourage new ones to come to town?
I'll start off with the second portion of it first. We're in a time where you have to network. We cannot sit back and just kind of be stagnant. You have, it's basically how the Bible says, you have not because you ask not. We have to be able to go out here and partner with different businesses, find out how to bring businesses back into Scarlet Neck, find out what can Scarlet Neck offer these businesses to come, whether it's land reservation, some kind of kickback, because in this society we now are in, it's in reference to a kickback. Most businesses are not gonna wanna invest unless they know that they have a chance of succeeding here. to keep the jobs currently here, we need to speak to these business owners. What is it gonna take? What is driving people away from coming to your businesses, not spending money within your business? What can we do or what can we provide to showcase or promote your business more better to generate revenue? Not only generate revenue, but employment as well. Because when you got higher employment, you got revenue. You got income coming back into the city.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Morris. I failed to acknowledge earlier that Mr. Forrest Bradley, who is also a candidate for the Town Commission in Scotland Neck, is not here tonight, but you see his place up there. Okay, did you finish, Mr. Morris?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Ms. Stallings, we're going to ask you the same question. How do you plan to support local businesses and encourage new ones to come to town?
I feel like the best way to bring new businesses and to keep current businesses here in town is to have a marketing team that basically will help support what we already do have, but also look for outlets to bring new opportunities in. We have to have people telling our story and why they need to be here. There are grant funds through many organizations that can support that type of position that will promote our town in any entity that will listen. We also need to make good networks with small business associations through the community colleges and network through those avenues to bring in the resources that are already there, they're already paid for by the state, and to bring in that line of revenue as well back to our facilities and our town.
Thank you, Ms. Stallings. Ms. Schofield, you're next.
I feel that,
Do I need to repeat the question?
yes, sir.
Okay.
I feel it's what we need here in Scotland. We have things here, but it's not sufficient enough for the community. So I feel that we should search and look for exactly what Scotland may need. We need a lot of things, but we have to do that search and find out what the community needs, what we need to do for us as the children, for the old people, the young people, and the people who can't get around. We need business, something like that, like a Boys and Girls Club. That is good. And we need something that is going to satisfy the whole community. Because we need things, we don't have enough here to us to stay here, because there's a new person coming in the room. There's nothing here for the kids, there's nothing for the old person. They're not gonna stay here long. So we need something gonna help community as well.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Schofield, appreciate that. All right, we're gonna move, I heard some talking in the back behind me. You can't talk. If you need to talk, just step outside. Next, we'll move to the mayor candidates. Mr. Braxton, how will you keep residents informed and engaged with town decisions?
Well, a lot of people question, when do you have your board meeting? We've had the board meeting on the fourth Tuesday night, 7:30, since I was a child. I guess that's the regular time. We don't have a newspaper. We try to keep it posted in our front office. I'm working on a thing called MailChimp, where if people give me their cell phone number and the email address, they can go on the town website and enroll in MailChimp, and I'll be able to send out a mass email and a mass text messaging as to whatever problems are going on in town, if the lights are out, when the lights will be back on, or whatever. Right now, I have 72 people signed up for that so far, and hopefully we can get some more signed up for the MailChimp. That's the easiest way. We had a newspaper that we run several years ago, but it was a great newspaper. It was large print for our seniors, but it's just real hard for 2 or 3 volunteers to do even a monthly newspaper.
Okay, Mr. Braxton, we're gonna go to question number 2 on you.
Okay.
What is your plan for addressing the town's budget challenges, and how will you be prioritizing spending?
Well, we are in the best financial shape we've been in a long time right now. And finances is a big thing because we're landlocked with our city limits. We have the same city limits that we've had, again, since I've been here. and it's little room to grow. So we are promoting our largest tourism, which is Sylvan Heights Bird Park, bringing 65,000+ people. We've got some new restaurants open, we've got liquor by the drink now. All these sales taxes help contribute to our coffers. And tax money is the only way we can, make our bills that we pay. Our electric department earns money, but it goes back into the electrical department. The police department is a non-revenue. All the money goes out, but very little comes back in. And we try to keep our utility rates as low as we can, but everything in that department has skyrocketed like everything else. We try to take care of the taxpayers' money.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Braxton. Okay, we're moving to, back to the town commissioner candidates. And, this is for you, Ms. Dowling. What is your strategy for addressing crime and public safety, especially with limited resources?
So to address public safety, we of course need a functional police department, and that means offering good salaries to the officers that we have and the ones that we are recruiting. But having allies that we can depend on, a sheriff's department that responds when we call them, networking with additional agencies, be it the SBI or the FBI or whoever it needs to be to come in and make our streets safe again. We do have to look at what we're spending for that department to keep our community safe. We have to make sure that our officers have the needs that they need to make sure that they are safe in doing the job, but that they also are not afraid to be visible and to be seen and to address concerns on the street. But as citizens, we have due diligence. We have to do our due diligence to make sure if we see something, we say something. And that if there is an event going on and we know the details, that we share them and we're not afraid to go to the ends of the extent of the issue to get it resolved, because it keeps us all safe.
Thank you, Ms. Dowling. Okay, Ms. Schofield?
Well, for me, that's a tough question. Because I say it's a tough question because, you know, crime is everywhere. And being here in Scotland Neck, the police department do the best they can for Scotland Neck. With the people here, crime starts. And when it does starts, when you want someone to know about it, people don't talk about it. They're afraid. And we here in Scotland Neck needs to be open, and if crime is started, it's happening, we need to tell the police department, because they are our security. They help us to be safe here in Scotland Neck. And we here in Scotland Neck need to be aware there's crime here. With crime being here, when things happen again, people don't talk. We have to be open and help the police department, because without them, you know, crime is gonna be here. Without telling things and things is happening, so nothing get done. It get done, but not with the community, because community, sometimes they don't wanna say anything. So I say, with crime being here and things that's happening here, we have to come together and be open and help the police department.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Schofield. All right, Mr. Morris, you have that same question. What is your strategy for addressing crime and public safety, especially with the limited resources that you have?
Yes, sir. I can address that wholeheartedly. When I actually had the tenure being here, I understand the police department is in reform, and I have high regards for the new chief, because he's taking on something that most wouldn't. But he spoke in the last meeting and he said, you cannot put a price on a life. I admire that. You can't. I understand that our resources are limited. I understand that sometimes we can't move things to be where it needs to be. But when it comes to the police department, that needs to be priority. We need to have challenge and pay to recruit qualified people here. We need better vehicles for the officers, better equipment for the officers. I stood in that fire, so I'm speaking from experience on that. Give the police department what they're asking for. Because if you don't give them what they're asking for, they're not able to put out the results that the community is asking for. Secondly, sometimes the community does not speak up because sometimes the community has a distrust. So it goes back hand in hand. You can't ride around in a patrol car all the time. You gotta get out and talk to your people. You gotta get out and know these people. I've received some of the best information I've ever had, just sitting on the porch on a Sunday morning, speaking with the elderly. They'll tell you what you need to know if they know you. Community, get to know your kids. These kids will tell you things if they trust you. So it hand in hand. Police department has to meet the community has to meet the police department. If we work together, we'll be better united than what we have now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Morris. Just to give you all a little break, I failed to mention in the beginning, the mayor candidates, the mayor's position is, of course, you elect one, and it's for a two-year term. It's for the mayor. The town commissioners, you have 4 that have signed up through Halifax Board of Elections. It's a 4-year term, and you elect 2. I just wanted to say that, for the public. I know you all know that. Okay, now moving to the next question. We've asked a couple of questions, and we're going to go and we're going to ask a third one. And then I want to remind the audience too, if you have any questions that you want to submit, remember I told you in the beginning that Ms. Nancy Winslow has a 3x5 card that she'd be glad to give you to put some questions on there. It looked like we will have time to do that. So, if you don't mind, just take the time maybe to do that and give that to her so we can consider that, okay? Now, next question, and this is the third question, going to Mr. Braxton. What one success you've been most proud of in your professional and public service background?
Whole background.
Let me read it again. It says, what one success you've been most proud of in your professional or public service background? And I don't think I said or in the beginning, but it says or.
Well, I would think
Professional or
that
public
there's several
service.
things that I could be proud of. One was starting the Scholar Lake Rescue Squad. At age 19, we started with a Cadillac Hearst, had it painted orange and white, and took a first aid course and started answering calls. And that grew into bigger vehicles and more training, EMT training. And that was, to be able to have hands-on to save a life is quite an experience. And I had that opportunity several times. Nearly delivered some babies. Didn't quite get there, but it was nearly there. But that's, to be able to save a life doing manual CPR is a great treat. And my professional life, I had nearly 42 years in the insurance industry. Helped a lot of people during those 42 years, whether it was in the death of a family member or a house burning up or a severe car wreck. And then professionally for the town, just to see where the town has come in the last 9 years, from where it was when I started. We have streets that drain now. We have a waste treatment plant that just was, we were told it was operating better than it's operated in a number of years. And the overall condition of our town, we're not perfect, but there's not many towns of our size that can, that has a food line. There's, in Halifax County, there are 2 grocery stores outside of Roanoke Rapids that are major grocery stores, and it's our food line and a food line outside of Roanoke Rapids. And, not many towns our size has a hotel, and Mayor Parton was responsible for the hotel, but the hotel is doing really well. And we have a lot to be thankful for here in our community.
Thank you, Mr. Braxton. Okay, we're going to move to the town commissioner candidates. This is your third question. And Ms. Cofield, this is going to you first. How do you plan to increase transparency and accountability in town government decisions? And if you want me to repeat it again, I'd be glad to. Yes, absolutely. How do you plan to increase transparency and accountability in town government decisions?
Well, as Ms. Stallman mentioned one time, there are grants and stuff that's available for the town. And we here, I imagine in the office can justify that. And we need a lot, I would say, I hope I'm answering the question correctly. We need a lot here in Scholar Neck as far as things need to be done. And we've been saying that again, I say, we need something for the kids. We need something for the old folks. And the middle-aged people. So again, I hope I answered this question correctly. Because, you know, here in Scholar Neck, a lot of people was raised here, left here, came back, and they would expect something back in the past, but it won't be like that. Things change, people change. So you have to look at what used to be is not going to be anymore. Things change. Fathers, myself, stuff here in Scholar Neck, we only have one grocery store. We only have one pharmacy. So it's a lot here needs to be increased. So I say, on that note is that with the opportunity is not here, and what we need here is things to keep people here. And we don't have that. We only have something, when you have to go out of town or your jurisdiction to get something that you want, then you gotta come back home. So, well, daggone, I missed something else, you gotta come back. So it's a lot. And for me, I love Scotland Neck. I was born and raised here. Now, I'm not going anywhere. So I'm saying to say is, we have to focus on exactly, again, what we need here in Scotland Neck.
Okay, all right. Mr. Morris,
Yes, sir.
you next. How do you plan to increase transparency and accountability in town government decisions?
Yes, sir. I'll mind that question first of all. We have town meetings for a reason. Policies and different things are getting stated in meetings that most people are not aware of. We need to push the narrative of information getting out into the community better. We're in an era of social media. And I know that sometimes policies and everything can't always be put on social media, but we have to do a better job of informing the people when decisions are made and reach within the community. Because when a community is better informed, it will thrive. You cannot thrive if you don't know what's going on. You cannot impose your will of change on people and people don't know what's going on. Change can happen, you just gotta ease it in there. You gotta give people a chance to adapt to it. So, an accountability when things are not going right within the town or the government system. Who do we hold accountable? Who do we address for these problems? Who do we hold responsible for that? To make sure that they are taking care of the needs of the people. Because at the end of the day, without the community, there's no Scholar Neck. So accountability and stability must be held on top of transparency.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Okay, Ms. Stallings, you have that same question. How do you plan to increase transparency and accountability to town government decisions?
So I agree with Mr. Mr. Morris, sorry. I do believe that transparency starts with involvement. We have a weak turnout for monthly town meetings. And maybe there's a better reminder system that we can put into place so that people do know and do remember that we're the fourth Tuesday night of every month at 7:30. And there again, follow through with decisions that are made that affect the whole town. Of course, you can't share human resource items or personnel matters through social media platforms. Maybe it's keeping a town website up to date with relevant information, relevant events, relevant changes, things that are going on. There again, telling our story in a positive light so that the negative media doesn't take over.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Ms. Statler. Just want the candidates and the audience to know, I have some questions here from the audience, and I'm seeking more questions from the audience. But we're gonna go ahead and probably do a couple of those questions from the audience here, and then we're gonna take about a 10-minute break, okay? All right, now, the first question that I'm going to give you, same thing applies, it's 2 minutes, Nicholas, as far as the time. Every question that I ask is 2 minutes. And, same thing applies to this. Now, this is a question that's gonna be posed to mayor candidates and town commissioner candidates. The very same question, okay? Because it's a question involving Main Street. And it's a good question, a very good question that pertains to any elected official. I'm a county commissioner, and if I was sitting up there running for re-election, it would pertain to me too. And, but it's a very good question. Anyway, this is the way it reads. It says Main Street is vital to our community economy. What are your plans for economic development and beautification to attract new businesses and enhance the area's appeal? And Mr. Braxton, we're gonna start with you.
All right, thank you. Well, Main Street, is our main place. I mean, everybody that comes through sees our Main Street. And we've done a great job with funds we got from, House Representative Ray to spruce up our Main Street. Our business owners on Main Street need to be willing to spruce up their business themselves. We put a good paint job on the place, they need to come back and do it, and keep it up. And businesses, people, we talk about businesses. People are open a business to make money. They don't open a business to serve the public other than making money. And in a town our size, I've tried for 9 years to get a shoe store here. Everybody wears shoes. I don't care who you are, you wear shoes. But a shoe store is not coming to Scotland Neck. They want a minimum of 5,000 people, and they're not coming here. We gotta open stores that are attracted to the people that are coming to the Bird Park, a coffee shop, I'd love to see a brewery downtown. We have a gentleman that's purchased a building downtown. He had big dreams, but he's gonna need $1 million to refurbish the building. I mean, it's expensive to refurbish these old buildings. And unfortunately, we don't have grants, that we can furnish these people money to refurbish their buildings other than what we got from Mr. Ray. They're just not out there. I'm constantly looking for people to want to open a business. We got a new business, a print shop that's getting ready to open, and it's a great idea. They'll be able to offer a lot of services here. But we just have to take what we have and try to grow from within, with these businesses.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Braxton. Ms. Cofield, the same question. Main Street is vital to our community and economy. What are your plans for economic development and beautification to attract new businesses and enhance the area's appeal?
Well, I would say that Main Street, again, like Mayor Braxton said, is one of our main concerns, because when you come from each direction, when you're coming through town, you can look at the stores, the business, how they handle their business, what it look like on the outside as well on the inside. And if you're coming through town, you got a business that's all run down, doesn't look good, to support Main Street, you as a business need to try to make it look better. And doing that, I believe with Scotland Lake, where it used to look, where it look now, it look a whole lot better than what it used to look, because some business has improved to make it look better. And I think that doing that, the business should, again, come to the meetings, and if they have a problem, maybe we as the board can straighten things out. But you as a business person who handles business should know that you should improve your business to make it look good, because when people live here and come here and coming through here, someone might want to come here to stay. But if it doesn't look good and it doesn't have the improvement, why would you want to stay? You keep on going till you find something else. But again, I say, the business need to improve as well to make the town look good.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Schofield. Ms. Stallings, that same question. Main Street is vital, to our community's economy. What are your plans for economic development and beautification to attract new businesses and enhance the area's appeal?
So I feel like you have one chance to make a first impression. As you come down Main Street, there's empty buildings that business owners, if they're not wanting to put a business in the storefront right now, they need to be held to a higher standard of appearance. New businesses do need to come in. We need them. We need to offer incentives for them. We need to offer them the ability to get on their feet before they're expected to pay all of the exorbitant fees that it comes with running a business, not just a utility bill. There's many more things that come with running a business. But you have to become grounded, and you have to have deep pockets to operate a business. But if we set them up for success as a city or a town, then we set up the town for longevity with new businesses as they come.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Stallings. Okay, Mr. Morris, that same question. Main Street is vital to our community's economy. What are your plans for economic development and beautification to attract new businesses and enhance the area's appeal?
Just to piggyback off Commissioner Stiles, I 100% agree what she's saying. We have to do better on Main Street. One thing that the mayor said that, we can throw paint on the building, but what is that doing for the building if it doesn't have a business? You can paint a pretty picture, but if the inside is destroyed, what is the point of the picture? The biggest thing that I look at it is we have to find some kind of way to network in business back here. And like Ms. Starr said, keep what we do have. There's grants out here who, once again, has come back to being proactive, not reactive. We have to go seek these. We can't expect for businesses to come in. Sometimes you have to be willing to go out and find out what can you bring back as a resource, or what can we give to a business to attract them here. Scott Lake is a beautiful city. Beautiful township. I love it here. It can be better. But like Ms. Stone said, when you're coming down Main Street and you're seeing these empty buildings, most people look like, why should I invest here? My thing is this, if the building is not up to code and it's not functional, why is it even standing? I understand that some of the buildings are historical, which should still be here. But at the same time, as time progresses, change needs to happen. We can no longer sit here and stand behind the 8 ball. We won't survive in a city like this. Change must take place. Economic development must progress. If not, businesses are pulling out of here because they don't feel there's a reason to be here. We have to figure out what they need to meet them on their level to attract not only them to stay, but also to bring in more business to Scotland.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Morris. And you all probably already know this as well as the citizens, and I'm just making a general statement. Economic development is important to any town, city, or any county. You cannot survive without it. That's one of the most important things. Okay, this is another question coming from the citizens of Scotland Neck. Very important question again. All of them are good, but this one is full of good information too, and you'll see it. It says our community currently lacks an urgent care facility, which is an essential healthcare service. What steps will you take to help bring an urgent care center for similar medical resources to the area? Ms. Downs?
So I took over Bryan Health and Rehab in January of 2019. And of course, everyone knows that that is where our community hospital was. That closed in 2017. I serve at the pleasure of a board of trustees that put their faith in me to keep the long-term care and assisted living alive. And we have done just that. The resources it would take to bring an urgent care to this town are enormous. Not just $1 or $2 million. To sustain an urgent care would take tens of 12, maybe even 14 million to get it where it needs to be. It is not for lack of trying that I independently, along with our board, has not tried. To keep the hospital afloat any longer than they did, the board all but depleted funds to try to make it work. We have attempted to work with Rural Health Group to extend hours, to do 6 p.m. evenings, to do Saturday hours. There's been no lack of try to bring an option for an urgent care or a care clinic. We do have a manager at Rural Health Group that is trying at this point to accept all the patients that she can so that our local people can be seen. It is imperative that we have health care here, and it's not for lack of trying.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Stallings. Mr. Morris?
Again, Ms. Stallings, I commend you, because you was doing a job that I know I could not do. I promise you, that's out of my field, so I thank you for that. She's right. I mean, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. That is an impossible task at the moment. I'm not saying that it can't, but let's be realistic. This is a rural area. Not a lot of income and revenue to bring in this area to sustain that. Not saying that it can't happen, but let's be realistic. We have to take baby steps until we get there. I know that healthcare is very serious, especially for our elderly. They deserve it. They truly do. They're the heart and souls of the community. But let's continue to push the narrative of the rural health that we do have. Keep supporting them. Keep showing and thanking them for the services that they are committing to the elderly, of accepting patients that are coming through the door because they don't have to. And times are hard. But my main focus of keep pushing what we do have. Keep them afloat so we don't lose them. Because if we do, we don't have anything.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Ms. Schofield, let me just read it one more time. Our community currently lacks an urgent care facility, which is essential health care service. What steps will you take to help bring an urgent care center or similar medical resource to the area?
For me, that's a tough question. And to answer that question, I feel that Ms. Stallings sums it all, what need to be done. And really, I have no comment to how to do that. So I'll just say, agree with Ms. Stallings has said.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Schofield. Mr. Braxton?
Well, I've had conversations with the president of Halifax, ECU North now, and we're very fortunate that we're within 20 minutes of one ECU hospital and about 35 minutes of another outstanding ECU hospital in Roanoke Rapids. For those of you who don't know, the ECU North Hospital has become a first-class hospital. They actually take people from Greenville and bring to Roanoke Rapids for some treatment. And we've had a general conversation, which like Ms. Stallings said, it's economically unfeasible to think we're gonna have so much health care on an emergency basis. We're very fortunate to have an EMS, paid full-time EMS. We still operate the helipad. If you lived in Raleigh, you could probably get to Tarboro or Roanoke Rapids just as quick as you could get to a hospital in Raleigh if you lived across town from a hospital. Martin County, where Williamson is, they have no hospital in Martin County at all, period. They have no health care, no hospital at all. So it's a challenge that I have had conversation, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening just because of the cost.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Braxton. All right, we're going to take a break for about 10 minutes. It's 6:19 now. Let's be back at 6:29. Thank you. Back. Just before I get back into the line of questioning for the candidates, I do want to mention a few things. We all gonna be marching out here at 7 o'clock, I promise you that. We have quite a few questions that have been submitted, and I want the audience to know, thank you for your question. Do really appreciate it. Some of them will be asked and some will not. I'm sure time will not allow, because I really have a stack of them, and I know they have some more questions to give me as well. But we'll do the best we can to do as many as we can. Just a few reminders. The first thing I should have said in the very beginning to everyone under the sound of my voice is make sure your phones are silent on vibrate, please. Your cell phones. And then the other thing is the early voting is in process now as we speak. And it's been going on for a few days now. So you can early vote if you choose to now, or you can wait till Election Day, which is Tuesday, November the 4th. And I believe the polls open at 6:30 a.m. and close at 7:30 p.m. And you'll go to your regular polling site at that particular time on Election Day and vote. Now the only site, from my understanding, Halifax County, is the agriculture building in Halifax that you can vote at. And I believe that time is, I think, from 8:30 to 5 each day. So anyway, you have any questions about voting, early voting or Election Day, just call the Halifax County Board of Elections office in Halifax. Okay, we're gonna move back to the candidates. All these questions are important, y'all. This is going to all of y'all as well. Several housing, what is that? Keep noise in the background.
Judge, gonna take your phone?
Now, if you need to walk outside and turn it off, you're okay to do that. You can come back in after you get it turned off. But we don't want phones going off. We have to respect the candidates. You know, these people before you all tonight that's lined up in front of us, you know, you have to understand that, you know, that they're your leaders in this town. Whether you vote for them or not, or whether you like them or not, you know, if they win, they're it. And they're gonna be it for a while. And so, I mean, you have to really, this is a good time to collaborate, ask questions. Even if you submit a question to me and it doesn't get asked, you know, at the end, I told you earlier, there's gonna be a time for meet and greet and refreshments. There are refreshments over here. That's the time that you can walk up to them and ask them that particular question, one-on-one. But you have to really understand that this is a real important time. This is not just a plaything. This is real. Okay, with that being said, the next question, and y'all can tell I was a teacher one time too. Okay, item 6 deals with housing. It's real important too. All these questions are important. Several housing projects are underway or in development in our community. What are your plans to partner with nonprofit organizations to support these efforts and ensure affordability, quality housing for local residents? And Mr. Braxton, we're gonna start with you.
Okay. Housing is very important. We have a lot of dilapidated houses here in Scotland Neck. Getting our hands on these homes to clean them up is a very difficult thing because you're dealing with heirs. You're dealing with taxes that are owed, and I'll find county manager here won't waive those taxes for us. We have to pay those taxes. I have submitted an application with Halifax Horizons to get some money to help clean up some properties. I've got some people that are willing to build some houses. We have 2 houses right now that are nearing completion for 2 young ladies that we got through up Coastal Plain Cog. I have one more that will go on the corner of 10th and Chestnut Street. As soon as the funding is available, we've applied for that. We had a lot that the town obtained, and the young lady was able to build a house on Chestnut Street. We gave her a deal on the lot, and the board agreed to sell it to her for $1,000 with the understanding that she had to be ready to put a house on it within 90 days. She hooked me up with her company that she was buying the house from, and they said she's ready, she just needs the property. So we did that to help her get a property. And as soon as we can get some money, my first goal is to clean up Allsbrook Oil Company on 13th Street. That property's been vacant It's a hazardous waste area, there's a lot of diesel fuel in the land, and hopefully that'll be one of the first places that, if I get that grant through Halifax Horizons, that we'll be able to pay the taxes on that. And the EPA has agreed to clean it up for us. And it's just a matter of, getting our hands on some property. I've got people who want to put houses up for people.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Braxton. And, of course, he mentioned that, that I wouldn't waive the fee, but he know what the real answer to that is. It's not up to me, it's up to the North Carolina General Assembly, and that's where it's hung up at, and, so, you know, just for clarification on that. Okay, all right, but no, that was a good observation, and to be honest with you, and he already knows this, along with the, town commissioners, you know, we are, the Board of County Commissioners are 100% behind trying to do something with that, because it's not just in Scotland Neck, it's all over the whole county.
It's all over the state.
Yeah, and it's got to be addressed in some way, but, you know, your town can, and the commission can do certain things, but the North Carolina General Assembly, that's the key, and you gotta remember that, that's the real key. Okay, getting back to the, question about housing. Okay, Ms. Copefield, you're gonna be next. Several housing projects are underway or in development in our community. What are your plans to partner with nonprofit organizations to support those efforts to ensure affordable quality housing for local residents?
Well, it's a lot of organization out there, and we as, say, people and organization and board can search for grants to try to get housing, meaning, as well as the mayor said, that there are some property that's out here, there are heirs, and you can't get it because taxes are on it, and you got heirs that run down from the top sister to the down sister to the down brother, and you can't get it because you gotta go through so much. And saying that finding property is hard, and to get it is hard. And to live here and to get property for housing, we need housing for elderly, as for, we have some people here that need housing, need homeless people. We need it for the homeless people. Because you have family members sometimes has argument, put a person out of the house, they have nowhere to go. And they live on the street, which is not good. Like we have on 12th Street, a lot of people hang around 12th Street. We don't know where they have anywhere to go because they're there most of the day and part of the night. So to say that, we need housing for the homeless people as well for the older people, which we have some for the older people. We have and need it for the veterans as well. They need some place to go too. So to improve that, we have to somehow to get some kind of grant here to get that done.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Cofield. Ms. Stallings, that same question. Several housing projects are underway or in development in our community. What are your plans to partner with nonprofit organizations to support these efforts and ensure affordability, quality housing for our local residents?
So first and foremost, landlords need to be held accountable for making a safe environment for a rental house. They have to make sure that their houses are safe to live in for those that are currently there. We do also need to be looking at sources, USDA, maybe rural development, to see if there is funding available for additional complexes or units to be built for people to live in. Those are resources that we can partner with, maybe even look at Habitat for Humanity to bring in another outlet for houses to be built for those that do need places to go. I can tell you as a business operator in this town, if I hire someone that needs somewhere to live, the commute is ridiculous. There's nowhere for anyone to go. There's no houses that are available. When you do find a house, it's not in a positive manner for someone that wants to rent it. I'm sure the police department feels that pain and that pressure as well with trying to recruit new police officers that are coming in. So it's important that we do have a safe environment and a safe house for these people to live in here.
Thank you, Ms. Stallings. Okay, Mr. Morris?
Yes, just to piggyback off what the mayor said, the mayor started stating, I commend it. If we already have programs established and ready to go, let's go ahead and tear these houses down. What's the point they're gonna stay in if they're not livable? Let's go ahead and get rid of them. Let's go ahead and get up the right buildings that, or homes that needs to be there. I think Ms. Stallings said it correctly. These landlords need to be held accountable. Because if your property is not up to code or up to par, then it's up to code enforcement to go ahead and enforce those regulations to take care of those properties. That's what it comes back to, accountability and stability. No economical development team is gonna come here and look at this area and wants to put anything here if you have these homes or residents in the condition they are. They feel like, well, if this is what you already have, why should I build anything on top of it? Let's go ahead and get rid of that so we can go ahead and clean it up. So when they do come here and we do give a presentation, they do wanna put something here. I'll take it even one more step further. In these rural homes that have no lights and power or water or anything in them, we need to go ahead and get them torn down. That's a safe haven for crime. That's a safe haven for people to do things, and when law enforcement are looking for them, they're hiding in these residences. Let's go ahead and get it torn down. This is time to be proactive, not reactive.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Morris. All right, the next question is dealing with streets. You know, there are streets that need repairs in Scotland Act. What are your plans to address long overdue road maintenance in this and other areas of the city? We're going to start with Mr. Morris.
Yes, sir. You're definitely right. Once again, this is the question I love right here. You have some streets that you go back on towards the east side of town, and you can darn near almost knock your alternator out of your car. That's a problem. You can travel down Main Street sometime and see different areas that need to be repaired. That's a problem. If there's funding and budgeting to maintain the stability of the roads within Scotland Neck, then that's what we should be focusing on. Because taxpayers' money is going towards them. But once again, presentation is everything. When you have people coming here to look at your home environment, your area, I was always taught your first impression is your last. So if you don't give them a good impression, why would they want to do anything here? Let's take care of our own to make sure somebody wants to take care of us.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Braxton.
Well, streets are a problem, there's no doubt about it. Right now, we're digging up streets because we are lining some of our sewer system, we're replacing 100-year-old water lines. So a lot of these streets, we can't do it. But again, it's about money. The town gets a little over $61,000 a year in power bill money to spend on asphalt. $61,000 won't cover very much asphalt. The worst street we have right now is probably West 5th Street down House Avenue, and we're getting a quote on that, but the guys already told us they're gonna have to grind the street down, which is probably another $100,000+ just to take up the asphalt that's there. And we probably got a little over $200,000 that we have saved to do that. But we also purchased a hot box a couple of years ago, and our town crew is getting real good at, we bought a roller, a hot box, and they can go get asphalt, and they're doing a real good job of fixing patches. If somebody knocks the alternator off, then they're going too fast. That's where Chief Austin, his radar can work. But, you know, we do have some patches, but it's not nearly as bad because the guys have done a really good job. But until we get all these sewer lines lined, because when they line the sewer line with new pipe, they have to replace the line to the house from that line to the curbing. So they have to dig that street up. And they've just done 19 on my street, and they're scheduled to do 66 all over town. So that's gonna be a lot of holes. But the guys that fixed those holes did a really good job. The company that did came in and fixed a really good job. But we're working on that. Just don't have enough money to do. I called the state guy and asked him how much it would cost to do our whole town, and it was like $1.2 million to pave all the streets.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Braxton. Ms. Stallings?
I would have to agree with Mayor Braxton. They have torn up lots of streets to make things better, so I think it's a work in progress. And it will get worse before it gets better, but I do feel like that we need to take an inventory of the worst streets in town, because there are some bad streets. I have had an employee bend a tire rim on a hole in town, and that's true. So there are some really bad holes. We do need to fix some places to maintain what we do have. But $1 million worth of asphalt, there's no way our town can afford that right now. There's no way any business could afford that right now. So I do think making a priority list and tackling one street at a time as we have the funds to do so.
Thank you, Ms. Towers. Ms. Schofield?
As Ms. Stallings stated, that it's gonna take a lot of money to fix the streets. And fixing the streets, if anyone in here who live in Scotland have ever seen the guys work on the streets and how they patch the streets up, it's a hard job. And doing that, if you can see the streets, they are bad, yes they are. But I have seen some improvement of some of the streets in Scotland now. And it's gonna take money to fix them. I'll give you one street that is kind of rough there, I know it's gonna take a lot to fix, which is over there on 16th Street is where the peanut factory is. That's a really rough road, and I know it's probably take a lot to fix it. But I look at it that if you ever see the guys out there working on the streets, and they block streets so you can't go on that street that where they fixing on, it takes a lot to do. Again, it's gonna take a lot of money. And I don't know about no asphalt because I don't know about how to fix those streets. But I'm saying to say, I know the streets are rough, just give the guys a little more time and I imagine they would fix the streets. So, you know, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time.
Okay, thank you all for that. That concludes the questions that's going to be asked from the audience. Now we're going to pretty come close to wrapping this up. One of her closing statements from each one of you, and of course you're going to have 2 minutes to do that. And we're going to start with Mr. Braxton.
Because I'm the largest guy up here.
No, sir.
Well,
You dressed up tonight, I noticed that.
that's my Halloween costume. Well, I look at Scotland Neck in a different way than our commissioners do. We are a retirement community. We got twice as many old people as we do young people. We have a great senior citizen center over here at Hattie State. It's a senior citizen of excellence. That only a small portion of the seniors in our town take advantage of the opportunities of that. We do need some more recreation for our youth. We have a library. We have a $500,000 playground out here that people take advantage of. But we need volunteers that can help do the recreation. You know, I've asked the county for manpower to run a recreation program. We have the facility, we just need a little manpower and some volunteers. And that's my idea of recreation from the county, is to provide a little manpower for us. Our community, you come down Main Street, when I go to meetings now, people tell me, y'all have the cleanest, best looking little town that we go through. And I'm proud of that. And we're not perfect by no means, but I have worked hard to get us to where we're at with the commissioners. I don't make a decision on most of this stuff. It's decisions I bring to the board, and the board has been very acceptable to head in the direction I want to go. And we are making progress on homes for people. But when you're talking about taking a person's land, there's a lot of hoops that you have to jump through to take people's land, even though it's dilapidated. And addressing the substandard homes, we have a minimum housing code, but it's not strong enough. But that's not something the town gets to decide. It's something that, again, the legislature has to decide that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Braxton. Ms. Schofield?
Being here in Scotland Neck is home for me. And I would like to stay here. And I'd like to help the community, for us to come together here in Scarlet Neck. In fact, I'm on the board. There is a lot need to be done: housing, roads, education, family. It's a lot need to be done here. And we here as a community need to come together to get this done. Again, we have the meeting every fourth Tuesday at 7:30. And if you want something done, come to the meeting. If you have any questions, ask each one of us here on the board. If you're not sure, you can do your research. Just help us. Just need to get along to understand one another, to find out what the community and what we need here in Scotland Neck. We live here. We have left here. We have came back. But we came back for a better. The old is gone. The new is here. So we need to come together and make it better. Some of us have children here. Some of us have parents here. Some of us have sisters and brothers and aunts and uncles here. We have people who are disabled here and can't help themselves. We have to get someone to take care of them. So to understand what we need, if we're not doing a good job, help us to do a better job. We're here to understand, again, with each other, to love one another, to respect one another. So let us come together.
Thank you, Ms. Cookfield. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Stallings?
So I am not quite retirement age, but yes, we are a retirement community, as Mayor Braxton said. I have quite a few years left before I'm mayor. However, I want this town to be better than it is today when I reach that age. I have a 16-year-old son that I want him to grow up in a town where he feels safe, that he feels protected, and that he has viable opportunities for employment should he want to stay here. And of course, my mama heart wants him to stay here. I think this town has huge potential, but it takes commissioners, it takes town employees, it takes the mayor, it takes everyone in this room to pull together in the right direction to get us where we're going. One person cannot make change. It takes everyone here.
Thank you, Ms. Stallings. Okay, Mr. Morris?
Yes, once again, my name is Marcus Morris, 37-year-old young man from Moonlight Road, think that he can make a difference. That's hope. Without hope, you have nothing. Without faith of a mustard seed, you have nothing. I'm asking for your vote. This is the time for change. Change is now. Accountability, stability must be held. We want the people to come to town hall meetings, but we want them to be assured that whatever they state or whatever they asking for within reasoning, their voices are heard. What's the point of coming just to hear us talk? At the end of the day, we work for the people. People don't work for us. I think we need to get back to that. I think we need to get back to listening to what the people need. Because if the people leave out of Scotland, we don't have anything. Businesses are pouring and leaving out here. We're getting ready to be a ghost town if we do not turn this around. This is a time for unity, not division. This is a time to look for resources. This is time to be proactive, not reactive. I don't know everything about everything, and I'm not perfect, and I'm not gonna sit here in front of you and make myself sound like I'm a perfect person or a perfect candidate. But I got a heart for this city. There was a time that I could have left here and purchased a home on the outside of Scarlet Neck, but I would have been outside of electoral where I could not run. With my fiance sitting in the front row, she told me, follow your heart and your dream. So I decided to stay here to see this race all the way through. That lets you know my commitment for this city. It's not about a title. I got enough on my resume. I'm good with that. I don't want the title, I want the work. I'm asking for your vote.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. And to all the candidates that appeared tonight, thank you so much for your participation. Thank you so much for your answers. And You know, and to the audience, thank you all for coming. I mean, I think this is a great turnout. From looking around in the audience, I think this is wonderful. So to the candidates and to the audience, let's give all of us a hand. And at this time, I'm just gonna turn it back over to the Scarlet Neck Business Association who sponsored this event. And let's give them a hand as one of them come up. As one of them come up, Nancy or Brent come up to make final remarks and just say goodbye. Okay.
Thank you guys so much. It's been a wonderful evening. I really appreciate all the feedback you guys have given. We do have some snacks and drinks, so I hope you guys will stay around to get the opportunity to meet the candidates and ask questions. Scarlet Neck Business Association is a volunteer group. We're here to help our community. If you guys have any questions, please come ask us. We'd love for you guys to support what we're doing so we can support the town and keep things going. So thank you guys.
Did you have anything, Nancy, to say?
Exactly what he said. Thank you all. The only thing I would say is I'm gonna say the same thing to you all. We appreciate your support. We'd like to have you get involved in the businesses. And I can't wait to find out what your plans are for downtown businesses like you've talked about. It's not easy to bring stores here, but just saying we need this and we need that, we need a plan on how to make that happen. So we appreciate y'all being here. The Business Association is strong and it's active, and we're always looking for businesses to join. But anyway, thank you for coming. And thank you, Mr. Bryant, and thank you, Mr. Carlson, for outstanding job moderating and
With that being said, all minds and hearts are clear. That's it. Thank y'all.
come on over and have some snacks.
Yes.